Welcome back to the Kaspa Silver YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the recent collapse of KDA with their public announcement and whether or not this is a sign for Kaspa that this is in its future as well. So you can see here that KDA made this public announcement saying that they regret to announce that the Kadena organization is no longer able to continue business operations and will be ceasing all business activity and active maintenance of the Kadena blockchain immediately. And I went ahead and made this post after this announcement came out and said, once again, cryptocurrency is better than crypto company. And I say watch this video where I talked about the difference and even used KDA as an example as a crypto to completely ignore for the long run. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a clip from this previously old video, but the link will be down below in the description so that you can watch the entire video that is entitled Kaspa, a crypto company or cryptocurrency. It's KDA. You can literally just click which the last coin I'm going to look at that's always talked about comparing with Kaspa, which there's just absolutely no comparison, is KDA. You can literally just click the about and see that there's an option here for company, a stronger foundation for global finance. There's literally a company behind KDA. So it just ruins the project's decentralization efforts. And also at the end of the day, these projects are not currencies. Like I said, they are pretty much platforms to try to implement smart contracts or something like that. Their goal is simply a DApp platform, decentralized apps to exist. And they're hoping that people will invest into them. And then the founders and everyone who got in early because of allocations will be able to profit off of this. There's no cryptocurrency focus. And this is what separates Kaspa from pretty much 99% of other cryptos and why I ignored 99% of other cryptos. And I also had this video over here that was made 2 years ago where I asked the question, Kadena better than Kaspa? And I had another 16-minute video that I just went ahead and gave my thoughts and opinions on Kadena and why fundamentally Kadena is not better than Kaspa. I want to share with you guys a conversation that happened on X that just gives us a little bit more insight into what happened here. So this user says, if anything, KDA's fall is a reminder to stay away from VC-backed blockchain companies that pre-mine coins with garbage tokenomics. Kaspa is a fair launch cryptocurrency, not a crypto company. Hope this helps. And BitCat says, how does the pre-mine have anything to do with this? KDA is a proof-of-work blockchain, as far as I know, that can theoretically survive regardless of its founding company. Only 70% of Kadena's supply is proof of work created by miners. The other 30% was created out of thin air by/for the company. Does this help, or do I have to explain why a company owning 30% of the supply is a bad thing? Nobody is saying it's a good thing, but it doesn't prove why a chain should die if the founders go away. And I say right here, because social consensus is completely tainted. The type of people KDA attract are very different than Kaspa people. The company for KDA is the trust people put for its success alone. Hence why when they leave, most people will leave. Having a company destroys decentralization. You think if Jonathan and Michael leave overnight, Kaspa price won't get hammered too? I think the price would suffer, but them leaving isn't determined on a company being able to stay afloat. That already was tried once with Kaspa and it went bankrupt. It's in fact why we have Kaspa. And this is the very, very important thing about Kaspa that just sets it apart from everything else, mostly all other cryptocurrencies out there that claim to be cryptocurrencies, but they're really crypto companies, is that they have companies behind those projects, and these companies are employing the developers who want to work on these projects. And basically, the future of that development of that project is only dependent on that company remaining profitable. Whereas in Kaspa, we don't actually really have this. And the reason why I say that Kaspa already tried this and it actually failed is because Kaspa was actually developed by a company known as DAG Labs before it had ever launched. And this is a post that was made a while ago where Jonathan, the founder of Kaspa, said, the operation was successful, but the doctor died, nailed it. If the patient is a money system, the doctor must vanish because money is a medium rather than a product. It must emerge rather than be purposed. And that is exactly true for Kaspa. Kaspa is money. Kaspa is not a corporation. And if you want to learn more about the inception of Kaspa and about this company known as DAG Labs that no longer exists at all and actually was a bankrupt company and did not receive any pre-allocations or anything like that, I have a playlist here where I talk about DAG Labs and I go into a lot more details about the inception of Kaspa and this company that was basically developing Kaspa and eventually got bankrupt. Now, continuing with this conversation here, this user says, I believe if they left after DAG night, it wouldn't matter, but before, that's a nightmare. And then Fresh Air says something that I think is very, very important. Community should free itself of this mindset. First, Michael and Jonathan are not the only ones caring or working on Kaspa. Coder is arguably the second most prominent dev and literally no one knows who he is. We should amplify things like this. Second, yes, Jonathan and Michael are smart, but you should be smart too. We should sprout developers and researchers on par with Jonathan and Michael. This could only happen if people take initiative here and now. We need to be able to carry on all the plans without any specific individual. And as you could see, because of Kaspa's open source architecture, we can actually analyze who are the contributors to the code of Kaspa. And you could see that it is not just Michael Sutton. And interestingly enough, you will not see Jonathan on here. And that's because of the fact that Jonathan is not a coder at all. He's only a researcher. So he doesn't even code anything into existence. The main person that does that is Michael Sutton. But there are loads of other people here that actually contribute to the code or can contribute to the code in some way. I'm actually on this list as well, but I obviously don't code at all, but I have contributed to just some basic updates to the README file, which needed some fixing. But other than that, there are other people who definitely are able to code things into existence. And we also are very, very transparent. The Kaspa community is a very, very transparent community. And if you are interested in seeing all the discussions related to development, there is a public Telegram group that you can join. The link will be down below in the description. And if you go to Telegram, you can see this is the group chat here where they have a load of different channels that are explaining different things related to Kaspa future development. And you can always tune in and read what the developers are saying. But this is just really great for transparency and the sake of trying to remain as decentralized as possible, as much as you can in a proof of work system. BigCat goes on to say, I'm not in Kaspa because of its leaders, but I'm aware of the big influence they have and how much people rely on their efforts. I consider that as an innovation catalyst, but also as a risk factor. And I say, you see, the people Kaspa attract are much different than 99% of crypto. I am also not in Kaspa solely because of the figureheads. Kaspa will continue doing what it's doing with or without a certain person. So to conclude, for the most part, yes, if Jonathan or Michael Sutton was basically announcing that they were going to leave, it would obviously probably affect Kaspa in a very negative way. But the fact of the matter is that them leaving is not determined on a company staying afloat, like in Kadena's case or in like a lot of other cryptocurrencies case. They are actually here voluntarily by their own will because they actually want to see Kaspa succeed and thrive. It's not because of a specific employment that they have with some company. So that is what sets Kaspa apart from loads of other projects in this space. And I want to leave you off with a quote from Satoshi, where he says here, a lot of people automatically dismiss e-currency as a lost cause because of all the companies that failed since the 1990s. I hope it's obvious it was only the centrally controlled nature of those systems that doomed them. I think this is the first time we're trying a decentralized, non-trust based system. And Satoshi was very right about this. And this is why Bitcoin has been so successful. And I think this is the first time that we have now a decentralized, non-trust based system that is no longer reliant on layers to actually be able to scale and can actually meet the needs and demands of users that want to be able to operate at internet-like speeds while maintaining Nakamoto consensus, proof of work, same similar fundamentals as Bitcoin. So This is a first in the industry of having a system like Kaspa, and this is one of the many reasons why I ignore 99.9% of other projects and personally just only spend time focusing on Kaspa and Bitcoin. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and before we go, if you have not considered joining my Patreon, this is a great way to support my channel, and not only that, you will also get extra access within my Discord to see all these YouTube videos before they go out live to the public. Now, you don't need a Patreon subscription to be able to join the Discord. The Discord is free to join. You just won't have access to all of the different channels. You can also book a one-on-one video call with me if you want to ask any kind of questions related to Kaspa. I would be more than happy to help you out with that. If you don't have a Robinhood account, you can also get a free stock by clicking that link right there to sign up with Robinhood if you are interested in the stock market world. And then last but not least, if you need wallets for Kaspa, there are a couple options here: Tangem, Ledger, OneKey, or SafePal. All of these are really great solutions for you to look into for storing your Kaspa offline and off exchanges. If you use the code Kaspa Silver at the checkout for Tangem or OneKey, you will receive a discount off of those codes, and I do receive a kickback from that, and it greatly does support this channel. I also just want to make you aware that if you are choosing a OneKey wallet, it does have a known bug as blindsiding. And if you don't know what that is, basically, if you're going to be sending Kaspa with this wallet, you're not going to be able to verify with the device what address you're sending it to. So if you are considering getting a OneKey wallet, just be mindful that you should probably not use it for sending much, but instead holding long term. I am in active talks with OneKey to hopefully get this fixed, and they've let the developers know, and hopefully they will get this fixed within a few months or so. Thank you again for watching. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new around here, and as always, don't be average, be different.